Hey friends, it's Michelle here with Garden Jargon, and we are in the Batavia Community Garden today. It is July 16th, and we have had a pretty mild week temperature-wise. It's been in the 70s, mid-70s, maybe hit 80s when the sun popped out, and cloudy for about a week. We've got probably a cumulative about 3 inches of rain over the last 7 days. What a good break. Because right around July is when gardeners tend to get a little bit tired out, and I'm so grateful that I haven't hit that point yet running 3 different gardens, because we've had this break in the weather, and that's where you get exhausted when you are gardening. Is you just hate being in the sun every single day, and I'm in it all the time because of the gardens, but I'm so grateful to have these gardens to be able to feed these people of Batavia and Aurora. So here we go. This is the weekly garden tour. Like I said, it's the 16th. I was supposed to post this video on Wednesday. You're gonna get it today because it was raining and I could not shoot a content video for you guys. So I wanted to kind of show you what we have going on out here in the garden today on this beautiful today's Friday. TGIF, everybody. All right, let's see what we got. Well, this whole summer we have been battling the squash vine borer and the squash bugs on all of our squash, but I think we are winning the battle, I have to say. I'm very excited that I haven't seen any pest pressure, and the squash that we have in this garden, they're not even mature yet, so they're easier to kind of watch and see if there are any pest pressure on there. So that when they start producing, they'll produce for us later into the season when the sign of pest pressure is gone. So I'm going to flip the camera around and give you a little tour of the Batavia Community Garden. And this is the designated area that we are growing food for the Interfaith Food Pantry. Alrighty, here we go. So this community garden that we are growing food for Interfaith Food Pantry consists of about 4 different rental plots that we push together, which are 10 by 30s. So we have 4 of them put together. So this would be a space considered to be right around 40 feet by 30 feet. So here at the community garden, everything that's growing in these little tiny raised beds that we've built is what the food is for the food pantry. We have also grown something ornamental, sunflowers. So these are some of the sunflowers that we transplanted from, if you can see behind that little trellis there, behind there's about 4-foot sunflowers back there. We needed to thin them out, so I brought some over here, and I cannot believe they survived. These survived as much as those survived, and those are all seeds from a mammoth sunflower that I grew at my house last summer. So we got the seeds for free, and these will all grow to be about 10 to 15 feet tall and give us huge heads of sunflowers. This is a whole row of peppers that was donated to us from Charity Blooms. These are all sunflowers. These are about 2.5 feet tall right now. Some are a little behind, but that's okay. And the trunks on these last year, guys, got so big I could not wrap 2 hands around them. We just created this trellis for our pole green beans. This is our little green bean patch. Lauren and I chased a bunny out of here today. He was hiding out in there, but I went back in the woods here on the property and grabbed a bunch of sticks, and we made some trellises so that those things can grow up and over there. That's going to be a tangled mess very soon, but it's going to give us lots of green beans. This right here is our, what I consider, slow growing okra patch. And then we also have some more sunflowers plugged in right there. All the okra that I have here at the church and at my house is all puny. This is another bed of peppers. Some of these peppers are something that I would not even put near my face because they are so hot. This is a little herb bed. This is mint. Smells so good. Sage. What the heck's down here? Oh, basil. Some type of basil. Smells good. And there was some dill on the end. That right there is another pepper bed. As you can see, there's different varieties of peppers in there. You can see the difference in height. These are yellow bell peppers. Those are red bell peppers. This is yellow bell peppers. Anaheim peppers. Violet sparkle peppers. Red bell peppers. Anaheim peppers. So that's pretty much a bell pepper bed. We jump back over here this side. This is more peppers, and we did the I think it's called the Florida weave trellis method. It's not really a trellis method, it's more of a support method. You put the T-post sturdy sticks into the ground, midpoint through the entire garden, and then you take a string from the post, the sturdy post, and you weave it like a figure 8 in and out through your peppers. And then you wrap it around the pole, give it some support, and then opposite figure 8 all the way back through the peppers. Just like that. And what that does, if you can see, we've already got 2 layers on it. It just kind of hugs those pepper plants in place in case we do get a big storm. And then that way they don't snap over and break, because if a pepper plant breaks, it's done. It doesn't get to grow anymore for the season. So, oops. Sorry, Serrano. Picked myself a Serrano on accident. But that's what that trellising system does. And we're going to do it in this bed as well as that bed. You can see we already got the T-posts. Thank you to Home Depot that donated those to us. That's another pepper bed. Those are more hot peppers. That's a variegated fish pepper plant. Look at that. I've never grown this pepper before, but I'm excited to see it. Even the pepper is variegated when they come. Shishito peppers. That's the one I'm most excited to try this year. We put some squash down here. These are orange honeydew. That's not squash, that's a melon. These are butternut squash. Once they start getting a little bit bigger, we will grow or build some arch trellises in here. This is strictly just a zinnia and sunflower bed. I just wanted to bring a pop of color to the garden, and I planted them late. So we are just now seeing the heads of some of these beautiful flowers. The bees certainly like them. This one's just getting ready to open. I love zinnias. The more you trim them, the more flowers they get. This is the eggplant bed. I have a couple different varieties of eggplant. Some are tinier, some are bigger, but they are producing flowers and going to give us some eggplant in here. This was a brassica bed. This was broccolis and cauliflowers, which obviously is not something that grows really well in the summer. We will make sure we designate this spot for some more brassicas like kales and chards maybe here in the next couple weeks. More peppers. Those were donated to us down there. These were donated to us from Charity Blooms. I think those came from a greenhouse. I rounded up the troops and we got a bunch of potato seeds. I asked everybody to check their pantry, and they did. So here are potatoes that are growing in this bed right here. I just hilled it up a little bit to give it a little bit more coverage on the potatoes if they're in there. And these are about a 90 to 120 day variety potatoes, so we'll let them stay in the ground until almost the time that it gets frosty outside. Our expected frost date's right around October 15th. These are our 4 rows of tomatoes. These are temporary trellis options for us out here. Obviously these tomatoes are not going to last on these little bamboo stakes that we've put in the ground, but I had to get them up off the ground. All of these tomatoes, you can see they're about 3 feet tall. They were all laying down because they had been growing like that since we put them in the ground, and we haven't trimmed them up. And obviously you can see it looks like a murder scene in here. We trimmed up all of our plants. These are all indeterminate variety tomatoes over here that we have pruned so that they can give us bigger fruit and produce more vegetables instead of more leaves. We don't want to grow a bunch of leaves, we want to grow a bunch of fruit. So if you take the energy off of the plant by trimming them up, you'll get more production on your fruit. So if you have any questions about that, put that in the comments below. I'd be happy to reach out to you and share with you the information that I have. Squash. We have yellow squash here, zucchini squash over there. I think these are yellow squash with more potatoes. Oh, that just finally popped up. I didn't know if those potatoes were going to take in that back row, but one just popped up, so I have hope for them. This is another tomato murder scene. These are the sunflowers that we put in the ground, and I thinned them out, but there's still heavy, heavy, heavy sunflowers in there. I think I'm going to go ahead and leave them. I was going to thin them out a little more, and I just don't have the heart to cut them down. And then we also have more sunflowers in here, as well as these zinnias that are going to grow right through here. I can't wait. And then I put more squash over here, 6 more plants over here. Something that I do when I plant squash, I think I'm just in habit of doing it. I like to plant 2 squash plants at the same time, because you never know if you're going to lose one to pest pressure. So if I do lose one of these plants to pest pressure, then at least I have another plant still going in its place and I don't have an empty spot. Something that I've done for years. As you see, same thing over there. We put foil around the trunk just a little bit to kind of deter that vine borer moth, which we have not seen for a while now. And then we also have over here our pumpkins. And we finally have had a baby. Look at that. Little baby pumpkin. That flower looks like that because I self-pollinated it. I wanted to make sure that he got pollinated because he's very close to the main stem, which is right here. So he's only about 4 feet from the main stem, which is a perfect spot. Oh, hi bee. Get in there. Can you get in there? Sweet little bee, trying to get into the flower. He can't, because this male flower is not open yet. Open that up for that bee to get in there. I don't know if that is variegation on the pumpkin leaf, or if that is some type of disease. I don't know. It was pretty. Lots of flowers. Lots of flowers. As you see, they're all male flowers. I'm not certain if you know the difference in a male flower and a female flower, but I'll show you really quick. These are all male flowers. They come directly off the stem, the main stem of your plant. The female would have a piece of fruit right underneath it. It'll have the fruit of, like the pumpkin would be right here. So, like that one didn't have a big stem. It just had a little stem, and then the fruit, and then the flower. I'm trying to find a baby female on this plant for you. And I do not see one. Maybe I'll see one on the other one. Look at Annie's sunflowers. Holy cow. They are at least 6 feet tall. I'm 5'6". Annie's sunflowers are growing. Okay, back to the community garden. Right there's some more squash. This plant right here is looking like he's struggling, but I mounded up some more compost because we lost a plant right next to it, to the vine borer. I'm not sure if this one has been affected by the vine borer, but we shall see. These are tomatoes. These are our determinate variety tomatoes. These are the determinate varieties that will only grow a certain amount of height and produce a bunch of fruit all at the same time, and then they die. They do not wait and last up into the first sign of frost like the indeterminate varieties do over there. So this is like your paste tomato, your Romas, your Amish paste. And this is the trellis system called the Trellis to Make You Jealous. So I pretty much put T-posts in the ground, put a PVC 1.5-inch T-pipe connector at the top, and then ran a 1/2-inch conduit through the entire thing. We had to couple 2 pieces of conduit together right here. You tie a string at the top of the pole, and then you run that down to the ground, and you wrap it around your tomato plant, and then you use one of these anchors and stab it into the ground to hold it close to the ground. But this is a trellising system you can find on YouTube called Trellis to Make You Jealous. So I like it this year that we're trying this with the determinate varieties because I've never used it before. So now you can see a before and after of how this is going to work. This is also another trellising system called the Hortanova netting. Got it on Amazon. I got like 500 feet of this for like $40, I think. But this is where all our cucumbers are. We got a bunch of like slicer cucumbers at that end, and then pickling cucumbers down here at this end. And when I was down here on the ground earlier pruning up some of these determinants, and you could just hear the buzz going on in the cucumbers. It was pretty awesome. We also have some more squash here. These are Acorn Squash growing. The patty pans that are growing. Spaghetti squash. And what's this one? Yellow patty pans. So these are all going to grow in some shape or form out. I don't know if they vine up or down. I'll have to do some more research before we build these trellises out here, because I would love to have some arch trellises out here. But that's pretty much it for the Batavia Community Garden. I just wanted to share with you, looking around to see if I forgot anything or missed anything. I guess not. Just wanted to share with you the progress of what's going on here at the community garden. We have built a relationship with the Rotary Club here of Batavia, and we are going to have an event here on July 31st, Saturday, July 31st. The Rotary Club is going to come out here and help us clear out some of these spaces, like the space back here. That's where the gazebo is going to go. So we need to prepare that so that we can use the lumber that we're getting from Home Depot and build a gazebo there so we can have some events in there. And that's July 31st, so we're excited. If you guys want to join us, send me a message on Facebook. And I will leave you with this beautiful purple basil plant. It's gorgeous. So I'm going to just show that to you and say goodbye. Let me turn the camera around. That is basil, guys. Can you even believe it? Like, look how pretty that is. If you could smell it, it doesn't even look real. It is so nice. Smells like licorice on some other level that you've never even smelled before. We got this one, and we got that plant right down there. It's beautiful, though. So excited about this garden and what we're going to... Sorry, I got cut off there. But yes, I'm very excited about the Batavia Community Garden and what we are going to be doing with all that produce that we're growing for the Interfaith Food Pantry, and it feeds families in need in the community of Batavia. So we are really excited about that, and we're only midway through the season right now, and we're really excited about that. We're excited that the Lord has given us rain when we've needed it, although we do have access to water there from the homeowner's well, which is gracious of her to let us do that. But all the people that have been helping us get their hands dirty in that garden have been really helpful. Even on a day just to go over and prune tomatoes or pull some weeds or spread some mulch in that garden. We're very grateful and very thankful for all of you that have chipped in, knowing that you're serving your community of Batavia, and we're happy to continue these garden tours. So I will do this again next week. Hopefully it will not be raining on Wednesday. I can get that video pumped out for you. So just wanted to say thank you so much for watching my channel, Garden Jargon. Please share this video with anybody that you know that gardens or that would love to see some tips and tricks that we are pulling. And I do not take credit for anything that I do in that garden, because I've learned everything that I've learned. I've learned it all on YouTube. So I thought, what a great platform if I could create some ways of doing things in the garden to share with you guys, because that's how I learned. And you're part of my community, and my heart is about growing food, and my heart is about educating people. So if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments below and share this video. If you hit the subscribe button, actually next week when I post this video again, you're going to get a little notification that says garden video, take a watch. We'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care and God bless.